Janie
and Farmer.
We are live from Charleston, South Carolina.
Yes, in your kitchen, and it's sugar-coated murder time.
Yay!
Woo-hoo! Yay! This is a podcast.
It is a podcast.
And we bake.
And we talk about murder. Murder.
Yes. Yeah, so I'm baking. I'm already into my recipe, and things are going well.
I'm very excited. We haven't baked anything since we baked with our friend Lyndon.
I know.
And that was scones. Those scones have been gone for quite a while now.
Oh, very much, but still talked about.
Yes. Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
That was a lot of fun, and those scones turned out really good.
Yeah.
So, yay.
And Lyndon, gosh, he is funny.
I just love him. He has a very popular podcast, and I can see why, because he's a very popular gentleman. He's our UK friend.
Yes.
So, do you want to know what I'm baking?
I do. I really, really do.
Okay, so, as you know, and I think some people that listen know, my husband is from the state of Pennsylvania.
Yes.
Okay. And that's where my in-laws still live. And up in Pennsylvania people love a tasty cake. It's a Pennsylvania treat.
Yes.
And my husband...
And I didn't know a lot about the tasty cake until I met your husband.
Yeah, I had never heard of tasty cake.
Every time we traveled, he wanted to stop and he wanted a tasty cake.
He still continues to want a tasty cake. Anytime I go into the gas station, he goes, "Sweetie, make sure you look for a tasty cake." And there are a couple of tasty cakes that he specifically likes. And he likes a chocolate junior, and that's like a junior chocolate. It's like a small chocolate cake. It's like a yellow cake with really dark chocolate icing.
Oh, so it's a yellow cake with chocolate icing.
Yes.
Okay.
And he also likes these peanut butter tandies. And I don't know what they call them something else from Tasty Cake, but they're little discs, and it's like a small little cake, and it's got a smear of peanut butter on it underneath a chocolate coating. And so that's pretty cool. And
I'm not sure I've even had a tasty cake.
I don't know how you haven't traveling with me. Well, he doesn't share. That's why.
No, I think tasty cake wise, I've had one of their cinnamon rolls.
Okay.
Cinnamon buns.
Cinnamon buns, yeah.
You know, the cinnamon roll.
I know, these are
like
you have to look for the display.
Right.
In the gas station. So the other thing that he and I love to eat together, because when he introduced them to me, this became my favorite tasty cake treat, and we would always... Supposedly, we were going to get the peanut butter ones and these and then split them, but then he would always split mine, and somehow his would be gone before it's time for him to share.
Right.
So, and that's fine. But this is called a Butterscotch Krimpet.
Oh my God. I've never even seen that.
And they're so cool because the way they cut them, which I will not be doing, is they're in squares, but they're in wavy squares. So they're like little, almost like puzzle pieces that fit together. It's really cool.
I am currently Googling Butterscotch Krimpet.
And then the icing is like a combed icing, the way that the icing is. It's like got ridges in it.
Oh, ridges.
But it's like a white.
Oh, I see it.
Yes, so it's a white. I'll put a picture up when we post this episode. So there's a white, like a sponge cake almost.
Yeah.
And then it's covered in this delicious butterscotch icing. So today I am making a butterscotch krimpet cake.
I couldn't be any more excited.
Oh, and I love butterscotch. So
now, does your husband know you're making these?
I have hinted around that I'm making a tasty cake treat.
My God.
So
they also make a jelly krimpet.
They do.
Jelly on the inside.
They do. Yes.
Oh, and I see the peanut butter candy cake.
Yeah, candy cake. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wow, I had no idea.
Oh, it's like a whole community of food.
Wow.
That you don't even know about. So I hope that I do this justice and that he's very happy with it. But I know I'm going to be happy with it because I know it's in the recipe. So, anyway.
I couldn't be more excited.
I couldn't either.
I love a butterscotch and I love a yellow cake.
Yeah.
So.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah. All right, well.
So, do you got any murder to talk about?
I do. I've got murder to talk about. We are we've got a storm coming up, so hopefully that won't interfere. We're not drinking, I'll tell you that. We're not drinking because after we're done recording, we're going to an improv show.
No.
So,
I wish that we were drinking now.
Yeah, it would be nice if we could. We should have planned better, maybe Uber driver. But then every time I think, oh, I'm going to take an Uber somewhere.
I don't want to end up as a crime show on a crime show.
Right. Then I see on TV, oh, the Uber driver killed somebody, or oops, the Uber driver crashed and killed everybody. Yeah. So then I don't want an Uber. So we're going into the improv show, Stone Cold Sober.
Yes, we are.
I am drinking coffee at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, though.
Yeah, I just had a nice big cup of green tea, so that should be kicking in any moment.
Yes.
About the time I start trying to talk about my murder, I will not be able to form a sentence, I'm sure, because that seems to be what happens. And so, yeah, I need your parchment paper, is it?
Yeah.
Warm?
No. Oh, wait, yeah. Oh, no. It's in the closet.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yes or no?
Listen, I had to think. Give me a break. Oh, the oven's ready. Get to going.
I got it, girl. I got it.
All right, so I'm going to talk about a murder that one of our fans sent in. We have had so many fans reach out to us lately.
It is so exciting, guys. When y'all send us murders, you don't know how much it just makes us squeal. We squeal like little girls. We're so excited when we get these murder cases to go and look up. So
this one is from Jamie. Should I say her full name?
No.
Okay, Jamie L. Jamie L. She lives in the Outer Banks area of North Carolina. She's actually sent us a couple. So one's going to take a little bit more research, but this one we were able to find information pretty quick on. So I'm really excited about that. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Jamie.
Our new best friend, Jamie.
I know, it's so many. Do you have any Baker's Joy? Probably not.
Oh, probably, but it would be
somewhere not in the cabinet.
No, it'd be in that cabinet, but you would probably have to stand on a stool to get to it. It's probably way in the back. It would be like the Pam version of Baker's Joy.
Yeah. I'll get it. You keep talking.
Okay.
I got this.
Sometimes I use the tongs if I can't reach something in the back.
Yep. I'm gonna get them.
Yeah, short people problems. Just another kitchen hack. All right, so we're going to Moyock, North Carolina.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, which is...
Everybody calm down.
Oh, my. Very close. Oh, my God. I don't know what's happening. It's
like a whole comedy routine.
She's walking in circles. Her shirt's getting caught on doors, and that is a thing.
It's a whole situation.
Yeah. I don't know if I should wait for you to get it together so you can focus on the story.
I'm not sure I'm going to get it together.
Okay. Do you need help?
Ow. I just pinched my
Okay. Well, we're going to pause it because there's been a kitchen injury. Okay, we're back.
Hello.
We're back.
I didn't have to go to the emergency room after all.
She pinched her little finger.
It's already bruised.
Yeah. I hate those little bloodless. Kitchen injuries are not fun.
No.
I will, however, say I was able to reach what she needed without tongs or a stool. I just reached it.
Guys, it was a whole setup.
It was a thing. So, okay, here we go. My murder is out of Moyock, North Carolina, which is very close to the Outer Banks of North Carolina, which is, we love it. We love it there.
Absolutely adore it there.
Yeah. So let's go June 30th, 2010. Paul Jandreau didn't pick up his buddy to go to work.
Well,
Paul had picked him up every day like clockwork for the last 2 years, so it was odd that he was a no-show. There was no answer on Paul's personal or work phone. Paul was retired from the Navy and now worked as a defense contractor and was known for his promptness. He had never missed a day of work, so when Paul didn't show up for work that day, his co-workers decided to call the police. I really hope that one day, if I don't show up for work, my co-workers call the police.
If Ann's co-workers are listening, get the police if she don't show up.
Yeah. Or
at least call me. I'll call the damn police.
Call emergency contact, would you?
Yeah.
Okay, so police go to the house that Paul shares with his wife, Letitia.
Okay.
And they see Paul's truck is in the driveway. They knock on the door. They knock on the windows. Nobody answered. Police called Paul's co-workers, and they got an emergency contact number, and they were able to reach Paul's wife, Letitia, at her work.
Okay.
She said she had not seen Paul that day and wasn't sure where to find him.
Oh, dear.
So let's talk a little bit about Paul and Letitia.
Let's do, because I think Letitia's got something to say.
Letitia was very athletic growing up. She actually grew up not too far from Moyock in Ahoskie, North Carolina.
I know where that is.
She was into track and field, very into fitness, and she and Paul actually met in 2002 at a gym. Paul, at that time, was getting to retire after a 20-plus year career with the Navy, which is not uncommon.
In the Navy. You can sail the 7 seas.
You figure if you get in the Navy when you're like 18 or whatever, after 20 years, you're in your 40s and you're ready to retire and all your benefits kick in. So,
and you deserve it.
He decided he wanted to retire in Moyock because it would still be close to the Navy base that he worked at in Norfolk, Virginia. And it was also in close proximity to the Outer Banks, which was a great place to vacation. So Paul built a beautiful home in Moyock, and when he retired, he was in his early 40s. He decided to take a job as a defense contractor to keep in the workforce. A lot of retired military guys do that. Paul and Letitia met in a kickboxing class and became workout partners and fell in love very quickly.
Well, that's a cool way to fall in love.
Yeah, I actually think that she kind of kicked his ass in the kickboxing class, and then he was smitten with her after that.
Of course.
So they moved in together and got married within a year. I think it was like 4 months after they met. They moved in together, and then within a year they were married.
Okay.
Paul's friends thought it was an odd match because Paul was very outgoing, and Letitia was kind of standoffish and didn't interact much with other people. All seemed well between the two of them, and by 2006, Letitia, who had problems with fertility, was pregnant with twins.
You go, girl.
Unfortunately,
she kicked that infertility's ass.
Unfortunately, the babies did not make it.
Well, crap. I just said congratulations.
One was stillborn, and the other died soon after birth.
Well, that'll mess with your head.
And Letitia was devastated. She actually ended up with a case of PTSD from the extreme loss.
Aww.
So, to keep herself distracted, she dove into her workouts at the gym and actually became a bodybuilder. She won some competitions. Paul was very proud of her, very supportive of her. He actually helped her train and built a gym at their house so she could do some of her workouts there. And even though Paul was helping her train and she was very focused on this bodybuilding, their marriage suffered from the trauma of losing the babies. Mm-hmm. In 2008, Paul had become more of Letitia's trainer than her husband.
Oh.
And at this point, they didn't even share a bedroom.
Oh.
By 2010, Paul had enough and wanted to move on. And he had asked, he was looking for an attorney, and he had asked Letitia to move out. Okay? So that brings us back to June 30th, 2010.
Yes.
After, were you looking for something?
Yeah, I need a glass bowl, like a glass hamper chef bowl.
Oh, I don't have one. What do you need it for?
To do the microwave stuff. What do we do when we melt chocolate in the microwave?
There should be another bowl like that one there.
Oh, and that's microwave safe?
Yeah. Unfortunately, my glass bowl still houses the pickles that we made some time back.
Oh, I knew you had one.
The pickles become better and better every day.
Oh my gosh, yes, I use them in chicken salad and my family goes crazy, but we digress.
Yeah. So, Letitia says she doesn't know where Paul is.
Sorry.
The officer asked, will you come meet us at your house to see if Paul is inside, maybe he's hurt. Reluctantly, she agreed, and she met them in the house. Now, the authorities were way on top of this case. Paul's co-workers had called at around 7:40 in the morning. By 7:55, they were at Paul's house, and by 8:30, they had Letitia back at the house. So that's a pretty damn good turnaround time for somebody who's gone missing. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Letitia lets the police into the house, and they look around. They don't see anything out of place, nothing that, really leaves any kind of suspicion. Then everybody leaves the house, and the search for Paul continues. The officer that did the initial walkthrough goes back to the house later in the day to see if Paul had shown up. Paul's vehicle was still there, and nobody answered the door. But the officer did notice that the windows that were previously uncovered were now covered with what he thought was either tarp, tinfoil, or some kind of frosting.
That's very odd.
Right. And something I read said it was Christmas paper, like wrapping paper. I don't know. I pulled all of my information out of the court documents. So I didn't pull anything from the newspaper articles, or I think there was a season 11 of Snapped. There was an episode, but that's too far back. It costs money to get that one for me. So I was like, no, I'll just look at the court documents.
No, we have other expenses.
So the next day is July 1st. The sheriff's deputy and a detective go to Paul's house. They see that Paul's truck is now backed up in the driveway and parked by the front door. The truck has furniture in the bed. The detective knocks and gets Letitia to the door. And she says she hadn't spoken to Paul since the 29th. And that though they were legally married, they led separate lives. Letitia didn't make any eye contact with the detective. She acted frustrated to have to talk to the detective and the deputy. So they leave and they decide they're going to follow up on the location, see if they can find Paul's cell phone. And they actually get a ping. They get a ping. Ping. And they see that it's pinging from somewhere in Elizabeth City, which is not too far from Moyock. And they start calling the number.
Everybody be quiet, please.
Very loud stuff happening in the kitchen.
Please continue.
If I were you, I would take that bag that's on the stove off of the stove. Mm-hmm. Just because I've had a bad experience with stove and fire with bags. So they start dialing Paul's phone, and they actually got somebody to answer the phone. And it was a construction worker who happened to be walking by and heard the cell phone ringing, so he picked it up and answered. And that's some good darn luck. So they drive to Elizabeth City, and they get the cell phone. On July 2nd, a couple of detectives go back to Paul's house for a prearranged meeting with Letitia. Okay. She's supposed to meet them there. But when they get there, they find a note that she left that said she'd gone for a walk. She's got to go. Sorry, I'm not meeting the police. I'm going for a walk.
I'm not in a police meeting mood.
I've got to clear my head. I'm just going to go for a walk.
Okay.
So the detectives try to call her, but there is no answer. Shocker. They even walked around the neighborhood to see if they could find her, but they could not. As they're doing their search for Letitia, you're going to love this. Mm-hmm. The detectives get a call from dispatch.
Oh, no.
Turns out Letitia has called 911 to try and find out why the police are at her house looking for her.
Oh, my God. Paranoid much?
So the dispatch says, well, they're there because they were supposed to meet you. And they're looking around because you're not where you said you would be. Now, she says, well, I'm in Chesapeake, Virginia, which is about an hour away from where they were, and I'm not going to be home until tomorrow.
What?
Yeah. But let's think about this. If you call 911...
They know where you are.
Right.
You dumb nitwit.
Right. So, to lie about your location is probably not the smartest thing to do. Turns out Letitia was calling from inside the house.
Oh, jeez.
She was inside the house.
With the Christmas paper wrapped
right.
up? Oh, my gosh. She's not the smartest bulb in the box.
No, she's not handling this well. But there's a reason for it, and you're going to find out.
I can't wait.
Detectives and police then rope off the area around the house to make sure she doesn't get out of the house, and they work on getting a warrant. In the meantime, they talk to a couple of the neighbors, and one of the neighbors confirms that Letitia is in fact home. They had just seen her in the house. And that in May, Paul had mentioned he was going to file for divorce and that he had asked Letitia to move out, but she wouldn't move out.
Oh.
With that information and the fact that Letitia was hiding in her house, they were able to get the search warrant. So they enter the house and they actually have to go by force through the garage. And they look around, no Letitia. They can't find
Letitia. Not doing herself any favors here.
They end up finding her playing possum in a closet covered by clothes and a blanket.
Right. She cold? She real cold? And she's
acting like she's asleep or dead or
She's got mental health issues.
You think? My God.
Bless her little heart. Her brain's not. The elevator's not going all the way to the top.
No. So they detain her. They don't arrest her at this point, but they detain her so they can do the search of the house. And as police begin to search, they notice a big pile of trash in the garage, and under that trash, good gracious, is a 55-gallon tote, and in that tote is the body of Paul Jandreau, wrapped in plastic and duct tape.
No, his body is there?
Yep, in the garage. Oh. In the garage, and there was fluid leaking out of it. Like there's blood on the floor. It's fluid. It's fluid. There's fluid coming out.
No.
Now, a couple of places that I read said she had chopped him up. I don't know how she got him in the 55-gallon tote. He didn't appear to be a tiny man, a small man.
Right.
But, so I don't want to know. It was not in the court papers, the condition of the body. So they now have got the body and they arrest her. They also find blood stain on the carpet in the master bedroom. And the bedroom floor looked like it had been cleaned. They found bullet holes in and near the master bedroom that had recently been filled with caulk. There's lots of cleaning supplies in the bedroom and the kitchen, and the master bedroom floor looked like it had been scrubbed. Frosted glass, caulk, duct tape, plastic wrap, and paint were all found in the kitchen. They found a .45 caliber handgun in Letitia's car. The magazine in the gun was empty. They found a receipt for the tote in Paul's truck. It had been purchased on July 1st. A forensic firearm tester confirmed that the bullets from the bedroom had been fired from the .45 caliber gun. An autopsy on Paul's body revealed that he had been shot 5 times. A shot to the neck had been fired at close range. And Paul had at least 12 lacerations to his head, which were consistent with being hit with the pistol. So he got pistol whipped.
Oh, no.
Letitia was charged with first-degree murder and larceny of a firearm because it seems she stole the murder weapon from a friend. Isn't that fun?
What a nice friend.
Yeah.
Then used it in a murder.
Right. And they hauled that poor sucker into the police station thinking maybe he was an accomplice or that he had done it or
maybe
whatever.
They're having an affair.
Right.
Yeah.
But it turns out, no. It was just bodybuilder. Letitia, yeah. They had an argument about her moving out, and she said she'd had enough and shot him and then beat the crap out of him. Oh my God. So, yeah, very nice. So, anyway, the friend is cleared and she's charged. Is it getting real hot or something? Yeah. That's weird.
Just check it.
Yeah. Do you need to put it in something else?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
We got it.
All right. So, on September 28, 2012, the case went to the jury. The same day, within an hour and a half, the jury found her guilty of both charges. She got 6 to 8 months for the larceny charge and a consecutive charge of life in prison.
Well, like consecutive. Yes. I love that. Consecutive.
Without the possibility of parole on the murder charge. She appealed the murder charge on May 6, 2014, and that appeal was denied.
Denied.
Paul Jandreau was buried with full honors at Arlington National Cemetery.
Good for Paul.
Yeah. So
Can I just say Paul just wanted to retire and have a peaceful freaking life after serving his country?
He did, and he wanted to divorce his wife. That's just it.
And that's because they didn't have a marriage.
Right.
They didn't have a marriage.
Right.
So,
there's no reason to kill your husband and beat the crap out of him.
No. So what does she have? She's got no marriage.
A lot of friends in jail. Well,
yeah.
we don't know. She could have a marriage in jail.
No, she doesn't have a marriage to Paul, is what I'm saying.
No.
That marriage was still over.
Right. She's got no marriage.
When you kill your spouse, your marriage is over.
No military benefits.
No military benefits.
Right.
No house to inherit. No nothing. There's no wife. What a jerk.
And
why couldn't she just get a divorce?
Right.
Did it say what her motive was at all?
No, it didn't say.
She's just a stupid, mean biatch.
I think that she maybe had, if I had to guess, this is just speculation on my part, I would say that she had some mental distress over losing those babies
That's no excuse.
Because she obviously carried them full term.
But there's no excuse.
No, I agree.
I mean, he was the father of those babies.
I agree.
He probably suffered just like she did. Maybe not to the same extent, but he probably suffered.
Yeah. No, I'm not making excuses for her. I think that she is where she needs to be.
Yeah, forever.
So the police credit Paul's friends for the quick arrest of Letitia.
Oh.
His friends actually stood vigil outside of that house and reported everything they saw to the police. She never had a chance to get rid of the body.
That's right, because they were standing there.
Right, which is why she covered her windows with frosting and
Christmas paper.
And Christmas paper or tinfoil or what the heck ever, and had the body sitting in the garage, and she probably freaked out.
Yeah.
Because she's trapped in the house, she couldn't get out.
Nope.
And she was trying to move furniture. I bet she thought she was going to move that tote into the bed of the truck and try to get rid of it.
And to make it look like she was just moving out.
Right, but Paul's friends stood vigil. They were not letting her.
God bless his friends.
Know.
I need to know who they are so we can be friends with them.
Those defense contractors.
I tell you.
Yeah.
I love it, though. I think that's
so thank
special.
you so much, Jamie L. from North Carolina, for giving us that story. That was a good one.
That was really good.
Yeah.
That was a really good story.
It was. So how are we doing? It smells good.
So I have the cakes in the oven. It's got about 10 or 11 more minutes. I have melted the butterscotch chips, and now I'm working on the icing while the butterscotch chips cool.
Oh, God, it smells delicious already.
I could just eat the whole bag of butterscotch chips in one bite.
Cool. Very good.
So we can go on pause, and I'll get this icing done if you want to.
Yeah,
we can
we'll
talk
do
about
that.
We can talk about stuff.
Let's go on pause for a minute, and then we'll come back and talk about stuff.
Okay.
All right.
Bye. I mean, no. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we're back. We are back.
We're back.
We're back.
And the cake is out of the oven, and it's
so good.
cooling. When the timer goes off, either you can or I can. I don't know which one wants to do it, but you just go lift it out with the parchment paper and put it on the cooling rack for another 10 minutes.
Yeah, I'll let you take it all the way home.
Okay. And then the frosting is made, and
it
then
smells so good. I feel like I wish I could just dip my finger in it and have a bunch.
Yeah, I could eat it by the spoonful.
That's not proper.
It's not proper. That's not how we were raised. Well, it's not how we were raised, but it is how we acted sometimes.
So, in secret, though, not in public.
I mean, not in public.
Not in
we would
polite
never.
society.
No, we would not. No.
All right, well, we got to get to going because, we
got things about. We got a schedule.
We have a schedule.
Okay, guys. Well, I'm going to talk about a murder.
What?
That's right. So, this murder happened in Atlanta, Georgia.
The devil went down to Georgia.
This devil really did go down to Georgia.
Lord of mercy.
And it was in Henry County.
Okay.
I don't know why that's important, but they said it a lot in all of the documents that I read and the show that I watched. So I'm just going to say it was in Henry County.
Okay.
I think it's because Atlanta maybe spans several counties.
Oh, right.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
So there's a girl. Her name is Allison Alvarez. She's 19 years old and is an immigrant from Bogota, Colombia.
I love that name, Bogota.
Me too. That's why I wrote it, because Bogota.
Bogota.
Yeah.
It's a fun word to say.
Bogota. I'm going to have to incorporate that in some kind of a daily sentence.
Yeah, like maybe...
Instead of like, I've got it, I'll be like, Bogota.
Right. Or if something hurts or whatever, Bogota.
Yeah. Or if it's time to go, just like, Bogota, go.
Maybe that's our bazinga.
Oh, yeah. That's our bazinga. Yes, Bogota. Got it. So anyway, she had been in the country for about 4 years. She was engaged.
Nice.
Yes, to a 21-year-old named Josh Samples. And they actually lived in Duluth, Georgia.
I knew a girl with the last name Samples growing up. I wonder if they're of any relation.
Was she from Georgia?
No, she was from Cortland, Virginia.
Okay, so this person, they were from Duluth, Georgia. Well, you'll have to ask. You'll have to ask.
Oh, yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, so get back to my story.
Sorry.
Okay, so they were from Duluth, Georgia, and they traveled to Atlanta, to the Atlanta Motor Speedway in September of 2002. Josh was in a car club.
Okay.
And there was a huge car show that happened at the the Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Okay.
Like 100,000 people.
So it was a show, not a race.
It was not, no, there's no race.
It's
a car show. And it was put on by Honda.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but they had a
Fancy.
lot of like fancy fun cars and like the
sure.
hydraulic systems, and then they had like the burning rubber contests. I mean, it was like a big
I think
deal.
it would be a lot of fun to go to a show like that.
They loved it. They traveled a lot to these car shows. They loved it. It was a group of them, about 10 of them that went. So they went together to just participate. They weren't working it.
Right.
So so the night before, on September 20th, the night before the show, these 10 members, and their car club was called the Who Then Now Car Club.
Who Then Now?
Who Then Now?
Who Then Now?
Yeah.
Who Then Now?
So they checked into a small motor lodge right next to the Speedway. They gathered together, they hung out, they drank a little bit, and then they went to bed. The gates opened at 10 a.m., so they wanted to be there 10 a.m.
Yeah.
And this is in Georgia in September. It's a little hot and humid.
Yeah.
So they go in, they get themselves registered, they walk around to a bunch of vendors. Excuse me.
What
Jeez
happened?
Louise, I'm going to have to take a little sip of hydro.
Yeah.
Oh.
I even got you some pellet ice going in
I
your
know,
water
I appreciate
tonight.
that so much.
It's gold.
It's golden.
I don't just give it to anybody.
No, you don't. And then she made this whole speech right before about, I'm glad I get paid tomorrow. I'm out of pellet ice. And I felt so guilty for getting the pellet ice in my cup.
I said I got to get more pellet ice. I just opened a new bag.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. Okay, so they went in, and so they walk around to the vendors, and then they decide to go sit on some bleachers,
Right.
on the Speedway because it was hot, and they were kind of taking a rest.
They just wanted to be still for a minute.
Super hot and humid.
Yeah.
Allison had worn jeans.
Oh, God.
So she was and boots. She was right miserable. She had on a white tank top, but she had on jeans and boots. She was not dressed the way probably she should have been.
Oh,
So she was really
shaved her
suffering.
legs because she could have just cut those
Probably.
shorts.
Yeah.
She'd have been
No,
fine.
I think it's probably a leg shaving issue is what I'm
Oh,
thinking.
Gotcha.
So anyway, around 2:00, Allison says that she's really not feeling well and she's
Yeah.
going to go find a bathroom.
Yeah.
And Josh, of course, offers to go with her, and she's like, no, I'll be right back. So she leaves her purse and her cell phone on the bleachers next to Josh.
Oh,
And
don't do that, people. Don't do
it.
that.
Mm-mm.
Take your cell phone with you.
Yes. So an hour later, she's still not back from the bathroom.
Oh,
and Josh
gosh.
is really worried.
Yeah.
So the group fans out across this huge
My
speedway,
gosh.
100,000
It's like
people.
finding a needle in a haystack.
Even worse. I mean, it's really bad. So it's like trying to find a needle in a farm.
Right.
Like, it's bad. So they fan out and they start going to vendors and asking the different vendors, hey, have you seen this girl? They give her a description, everything. Nobody has seen her.
Mm.
And so they're like, what the heck happened? Like, where did she go? So they try to figure out what bathroom she might have used. I mean, just trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
So this girl, Stephanie Tate, she worked at the Speedway on the catering team,
Mm.
like food services.
Right.
And she remembers being asked by several people throughout the day and evening if she had seen this girl. Like she knew that she was missing.
Right.
And she had not seen anything. So Josh eventually flags down a sheriff's deputy at the Speedway, and he tells them, we can't find my girlfriend. And he says, well, you can't file a report for 24 hours, but we'll keep a lookout for her.
Which is silly.
It's so dumb.
It's just silly.
I'm sorry, but it's dumb. It's just dumb. We have to stop. We have to stop that shit.
I know. Well, with that story that I just did, remember, it was within an hour.
Exactly.
That they had police over at this guy's house.
Yeah.
So maybe it's big town, big city, big event like that.
Because they probably was like, oh, that's his girlfriend. She probably just walked away and doesn't want to be with him. And
right.
He's panicked.
Maybe.
So when the event was over that evening, Josh and the other club members returned to the hotel. No Allison. There was no sign that she had even returned there at all. So He's really, really starting to worry. He starts calling her friends back home.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all like, just call her cell phone. And he says, you don't understand. I have her cell phone.
Right.
Not only do I have her cell phone, I have her purse and her ID and her money.
Right.
Like, where could she have gone with none of these things?
Right.
So the friends kind of start wondering, did Josh have anything to do with this? Is this something that he set up? Was he really with her? Because they didn't know they had been to the event. So they're like, did they get in an argument and she walked away, or did they get in an argument and do something to her? So they're in Duluth trying to figure out what the hell Josh has done. And in the meantime, Josh is getting absolutely panicked. So late that night, a few of the club members decide they're going to go back to the Speedway.
Mm-hmm.
And they actually get to the Speedway and they see a guy jumping the fence to come out of the Speedway.
Oh.
And they're like, oh, well, if he can jump a fence to get out, we can jump a fence to get in.
Oh.
So they jump a fence and start another search.
Yeah.
And they searched for over an hour.
Wow.
And they just walked calling her name, walking the bleachers, just everywhere that they had been that day. They backtracked. And it was a 2-day car show. No, it wasn't. Was it a 2-day car show? They could see where some of the vendors had been, and so they would go back to where the vendors were. Like, where would she go? Like,
right.
If you were Allison, what would you do with your time? So the next day, on the 22nd, Josh calls his mom in the morning in a panic and tells her about Allison's disappearance. And at this point, he's in tears.
Yeah.
And she's like, I could hardly console him.
I'm sure.
He was absolutely guilt-ridden that he had lost her.
Yeah.
And Josh and Allison actually lived with Josh's mom and dad.
Mm-hmm.
So they lived together, but they lived with Josh's parents.
Right.
And they looked at her as a daughter.
Yeah.
It's like she said, she was the daughter that we never had.
Right.
We adore her.
Aww.
So right at the exact 24-hour mark, Josh picks up the phone, calls police.
Good.
Does not wait a minute.
Good.
So investigators come over to the hotel room. And they separate the car show people, the club members, and they start questioning everybody. And they really question Josh heavily. Like, did you have a fight? Like, what's your relationship? And then they ask the other people, like, what's their relationship? Is it tumultuous? And they're like, no, they are joined at the hip.
Wow.
Like, we look at them as a unit.
Right.
Like, it's always Josh and Allison. It's not ever one or the other.
Right.
So they're like, okay, well, so the police go through Allison's purse. They don't find anything significant, but there's her ID, there's her cash, there's her cell phone. She had a little flip phone. So they tell the club members don't leave town.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well,
yeah.
Gosh, that's hard.
So the media picks up the story, and the news agencies, the local news agencies, start putting the word out on the not on the intranet, on the news stations. So,
your timer's getting ready to go off, but I'll go take care of it. I just take I take it out of the pan and put it on the cooling rack and ice it, or does it still need to cool?
It still has to cool another 10 minutes.
Okay.
So,
you continue.
I keep talking. So the media picks up the story and they get the word out to the public. And the big question is, how in a crowd of 100,000 participants, attendees, and vendors has nobody seen this girl?
Right.
She didn't just vanish. Somebody saw her somewhere.
Right.
But then again, could you pick her out of a crowd if you don't know her? I mean, it's just a sea of faces.
Well, yeah.
So, the sheriff's deputies that had been at the car show that day tell detectives they have searched everywhere in the Speedway, even places that were only accessible by employees.
Oh.
So now the police wonder if this is a kidnapping. Did she get kidnapped and taken out of the Speedway without somebody noticing?
Right.
So they actually go across the street. There was an airfield, like a small private airfield, and where people parked their planes. They went over and searched the hangars over there. They searched the planes that were parked. They searched that whole area thinking maybe somebody stashed her in a plane they're really grasping at straws.
Right.
So, in the meantime, they officially rule out Josh, which is good.
Uh-oh.
I caught you.
I got some icing in my mouth by accident.
I looked up and that spoon was coming out of her mouth. So, they actually used helicopters to search the perimeter outside of the Speedway. It was real shrubby and had like back dirt roads, going around it, and real dense woods. So they took a helicopter up there, and the helicopters searched like for a half a day, and they saw nothing.
Dang it!
It's like she just disappeared, vanished. So, in talking to Josh and his friends and Josh's family and Allison's friends back home, because they were really talking to a lot of people, no one felt that she had walked away on her own. that she would have never just up and left her phone, her
No.
purse, her ID, everything behind. That is not who she was.
Right.
And she just wouldn't have done that. She would not have walked away. So they start to widen the perimeter to the whole county. They start searching everywhere with helicopters, with people, with dogs. They're searching everything.
Yeah, because sometimes those helicopters have the heat sensors. You know, so if there's a body or somebody missing, they can pick up the heat.
And they were finding nothing.
Yeah.
So, and the fact that she's got no ID on her, they said, okay, let's start calling hospitals and looking for Jane Doe.
Right.
So no hospitals in the local area had Jane Doe.
Okay.
So a tip comes in on their tip line, and it's from this dude named Brandon. Brandon says, I know that everybody thinks this girl's missing, but I have it on pretty good authority. She's been murdered.
Oh, no.
And they were like, really? And he said, yes. So you need to go back to the Speedway and check the private suites.
For heaven's sake, Brandon. That's not at all suspicious.
Yeah. So on Wednesday, she's been missing 5 days now. Police go back to search the suites. They had been told by the deputies that they searched everywhere.
Oh, God.
Because they searched all the places that only employees had access to.
Right.
Well, the deputies were like, we didn't search the suites because they were roped off. There was like fencing, like places where it said, keep out, don't go in there.
Well, that's where you search.
No, fucking no.
Uh-oh.
No.
Sorry, Mama.
But I mean, how clueless can you freaking be? Deputy stupid ass dogs. Jeez. So anyway, they go back and they start searching the suites. And they come upon a lone white sock sitting on a utility box outside of a suite.
Great.
Just one sock. And they were like, this is a little suspicious, so we're going to go in. Well, the suite was unlocked. They just walked in. And they were told that all of them were locked.
For heaven's sake.
And that only employees...
Nobody thought to test a door?
They didn't even search over there.
Come on.
They did not search anywhere where those private suites were.
Come on.
So the suite, they go in, and it definitely looks like it's in disarray. And they noticed that a ceiling tile was a little bit crooked.
Let me get a feel for what a private suite is. Is that the same thing like at a ball field where
it's a box?
Like a box seat. Okay.
So there were like couches and stuffed
so
chairs.
So could go in and watch a
There was
race
a catering table there.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And they probably weren't used for this.
They were not used for this event.
Race, it was just a show.
It was just a show. So that's why they weren't being used.
Gotcha.
And only certain, not even all employees, but only certain employees had keys.
Right.
So they go in and they notice that there is a ceiling tile askew.
Oh, God.
So they climb up to look in the ceiling tile, and what they find way out in the corner, like the ceiling tile is here, but like probably 3 feet from the ceiling tile down the ceiling is a stack of very neatly folded clothes.
For heaven's sake.
And so they get the clothes down, and they are boots, jeans,
and a white tank
top, and some underwear.
Mm.
So they're like,
and maybe one sock.
No.
Just not even the other sock. Just the... Oh.
So they find it, they pull them down, and they're like, okay, this is not okay. So they're in suite 34, just in case you need to know that. They're in suite number 34 at the Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Just in case you're deciding to go to a show.
Don't rent that suite.
Don't get that one.
So there's actually a little stairway that leads from the suite, because the suite is here, but then you can stand out on this little balcony in front of the suite.
Right. So you can
and then there's like steps that go down to the bleachers.
Gotcha.
So the investigator goes down the bleachers, and then he goes down some more bleachers, and he goes under the bleachers. And he's walking, and all of a sudden they see a program from this car show on the ground, opened. Mm-hmm. And they're like, well, if nobody was using this area, how did this program get here? This is very interesting. So the guy keeps walking, and he walks another...
Even more interesting that they never checked under the bleachers in their search. I have in quotes.
No, because the area where their suites were all of it, the whole area was blocked off and not used.
Even where the bleachers were?
Even where the bleachers were.
Oy.
Yeah.
That would be the first place I would go.
Thank you. Me too. Especially a place where not everybody was.
Right.
I mean, you're not going to stash somebody in a crowd.
No.
You're like, excuse me, sir, could you get up out of that couch because I need to put a body under it.
Exactly.
That's not what you say.
No.
So anyway, this is just a really frustrating situation. So the police officer gets the program, puts it in a plastic bag, evidence bag, and then he keeps walking. Just beyond the program, he sees drag marks.
Oh my goodness.
Just beyond the drag marks, there's Allison's dead, naked body wearing one white sock.
Bless her heart.
Yeah. And she was under a shaded part of the bleachers, and they said that's why she was not picked up by helicopter.
Right.
Because she was in the shadows under the bleachers. Perfect place to hide a freaking body.
Yeah.
So now back to Brandon the tipster.
Again, I mean, I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed. I'm aware of it. But even me and my lack of knowledge of how things are done, that would have been the first place.
I would have gone.
Show me all your locked rooms.
Yes. Show me anywhere that people did not have access, that the public does not have access to. Yeah. It's
very frustrating.
It is very frustrating. And had they perhaps looked there first, they might have
sure the police
saved her.
In hindsight is 20/20, right?
Absolutely.
I'm sure afterward they were like, "Oh, why didn't we start there?"
I'm sure. I don't have any doubt about it. I would like to know the answer as well. So, so when the tipster had called in, he actually gave them a name of a person who supposedly killed Allison.
Was his name Brandon?
It wasn't Brandon. That's the thing. It wasn't Brandon. So they didn't put a lot of weight into the person's name, especially because, not at that moment, especially because they've got a dead body. So they're not rushing around trying to get her from this kidnapper. She's gone. So now we're going to start investigating. So they sent body swabs, and because when they found her, her body smelled very strongly of bleach.
Oh, for goodness sake.
Yes. And the autopsy showed that she had been strangled and bludgeoned, and then strong cleaning chemicals had been dumped all over her body, her face, trying to get rid of evidence.
Oh, my God.
So,
poor thing. She just had to go to the bathroom. She didn't feel good. She probably wanted a cool
She just wanted a cool, that's all she wanted. 19 years old.
For God's sake.
Leaves Columbia because of all the violence.
Yeah, well.
So when her friends go to identify her body, the only thing that they can recognize is her teeth and her hair. Because the chemicals had done, between the chemical and the decomposition from the heat.
Yeah.
They didn't even recognize her. And he had beaten the shit out of her.
Great.
So let's go back. Remember Stephanie Tate from the catering?
Yeah.
Okay.
I had a feeling she might have a hand in it.
Well, when she heard about where Allison was found, and she knew that Allison would not have been able to get there on her own, that she got just a horrible pit in her stomach.
Yeah.
Because she's thinking somebody that works here has done that. And I freaking work here. So she's getting a little worried.
I quit my job.
Yeah, I ain't going. I would never go back.
No.
Mm-mm. So she also knows that access to the suites so somebody would have to take her to the suites. It's not a place that you would just know where you
wander
are
off
going
and get
wander
lost
off.
Right.
Yeah, it's not that. They're
Gotcha.
tucked away, and there's places that you have to unlock to get there.
Gotcha.
So,
now your timer's getting ready to go off again.
We can pause it, and I can just throw icing on it, or I can just keep talking, and then when I'm done, we'll pause it. I'll throw icing on it, and then we'll just stick our faces in it.
I don't mind putting icing on it. I just didn't know. Do I need to brush something over it to make the stripes?
No, there's no stripes.
There are no stripes.
There's
on these
no
Krimpets?
stripes. No, and they said that you can turn this out. You don't have turn it over onto a jelly pan, a jelly roll pan. You don't have to do that.
You want me to turn it over?
I don't think you do. I don't think you need to.
You just want me to ice the top of it?
I just want you to get the damn icing on as soon as possible.
Okay.
And it goes on thick, but it doesn't go on the sides.
I'm afraid if you don't get it off of this parchment dough, it's going to stick.
Okay, we'll get it off.
It's
You can put it on a sheet, a cookie sheet.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead. Sorry.
All right. So Stephanie has a pit in her stomach. Okay. So when Brandon talked about how he knew the girl was killed, he said one of his friends had been bragging about killing Allison.
Why?
And turns out Brandon works at the Speedway as well. And he had received a handwritten note saying, hey, go into Suite 34 and turn around and look at what is posted on the cigarette machine.
What?
And he said, I'm looking right at it. It's really funny. And it was a poster of the missing poster of Allison.
It's funny.
Well, yeah. So the guy that told him to do that, his name is Toby Deering. Okay?
All right, we're coming for you, Toby.
Toby. He works at the Speedway in food service. And police checked his time card and verified that he was present at the Speedway from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. that day. And Toby is actually married to our friend Stephanie, who works at the Speedway. Yes, they both work in the catering division. So police go and pick him up. So, according to Stephanie, the night of the 21st, which is the night that she went missing, that Allison went missing, Toby actually came home from work very upset and tells Stephanie, I've done something really bad.
Oh, gosh.
And so he lays down next to her in bed, and she's comforting him, and she's like, tell me what it is, whatever it is. And she's thinking, okay, I've slept with somebody.
Right.
He says, I've killed a girl.
Lord mercy.
And she said she actually froze. She said, I was shocked and terrified, and I absolutely froze. And all I could think of was, is he going to kill me too?
Right.
So she just said, what do we need to do?
Oh.
And he said, well, you need to take me back to the Speedway because I'm pretty sure I left fingerprints.
Oh, God.
And she said, okay.
Oh, no.
So they jump in her van. She takes him, and he jumps the fence.
Oh, no.
Yes. And he goes in. He finds cleaning solution. He cleans the whole suite, and he moves her body.
Oh, my God. Is that when they saw the
And
guy
that,
jumping
yes.
in? So they were like...
He jumped out as they were jumping in. He was done with his cleanup. So he jumps back over the fence and goes and gets in the van and leaves. And those boys saw him and they were jumping in the fence to search.
Oh, my gosh.
So Stephanie says that she stayed in the car and wondered if he was really telling her the truth. But when he came back after a while and was sweating and the look on his face, she said, I knew it was true.
Oh.
So when they got home, he then told her, we got to go back again.
What?
Yeah, because he said, I really don't think that I have put the body where it needs to be. And she said, you're going to need to call your brother. His name is Josh Deering. Not Josh Samples, Josh Deering. I know it got me at first. I was like, what? But no. So he calls his brother Josh and says, dude, you got to come pick me up.
Oh, gosh.
Josh comes and picks him up. And when he gets in Josh's truck, Josh is like, what's up? And he said, well, I killed somebody and you've got to help me clean up the crime scene.
I'd have said, get out.
I'd have said,
get out of my car.
I'd have said,
Get out.
Get out, I'm going to run you over. So they go back, they jump the fence again, they go down, they wipe the suite down again.
Oh.
And this time he drags her body to another location, that's the drag marks, to get her more under the bleachers. And they also dumped all the cleaning solution all over her at that point. So, so when the police go and pick up Toby at work at the Speedway, because that MFer just goes right back to work with his job.
Of course.
He sits in the police car and just confesses everything.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So this is what he tells them. This is what he tells them. And just try not to have your head blow off.
Oh, Lord.
Okay. He says that on his way back from running food to one of the vendor tents,
right,
he comes across Allison. And she told him, I'm not feeling well and I'd like to have sex with you.
Okay.
So
that's what women do.
Yeah, so he figured she was a prostitute.
I'm not feeling well. I like that.
So he puts her on his golf cart and takes her straight to where the suites are.
Oh my gosh.
And tells her,
probably thinking she's getting medical attention.
he told her, I have a place where you can cool off and lay down. It's air conditioned.
Oh my God.
So she goes with him.
Maniacal SOB.
He says that she had quoted him a price for oral sex.
Okay.
And then a higher price for sex. So at first he wanted sex, but then he felt bad that he was going to cheat on his wife, so he only wanted the oral sex. But then in the middle of the oral sex, he decided he wanted the sex too, and then he blacked out. And when he came to, she was dead.
He blacked out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. What an asshole.
Mercy.
What an ass. It is bad enough to kill a person, but then to malign their whole entire character because it makes you feel like a man. Mm. Oh, this Toby guy and I are not friends. We're not friends.
Oh.
So he comes to and he says, well, she was dead. And so.
What a moron.
He's like, I blacked out.
Oh, yeah.
And
she said she didn't feel good, but she wanted to have some oral sex or sex with me.
Yeah.
I mean, done. You're done right there. We know it's a lie.
Yeah, no.
That's not how women think.
No.
We don't feel good.
We don't have sex when we don't feel good. When I am having a heat stroke.
Sex. Right.
I'm not in the mood for sex. I'm just looking for a place to lie down in the freaking air conditioning because it's 10,000 degrees and 10,000% humidity out here.
And I wore jeans.
And I wore freaking jeans because I didn't shave my freaking legs. Yeah. And I have these stupid boots on so I can't cut off my jeans. Because then I got boots on with jeans and people are going to think, what is she doing?
Oh my gosh.
So he is nothing but a piece of shit.
He is a shit.
So they arrest him and charge him and they convict him. And he reaches a flippin' plea deal to avoid the death penalty. What is the deal? Can you tell me what the state had to offer him? We found the body. You confessed. What did they have to offer?
Because he confessed, I'm sure.
No.
So you can't get the death penalty, I thought, if you confess.
I don't know. I don't freaking know. I'm just so mad at this whole entire situation. So he gets charged with aggravated battery and kidnapping and murder. He's never charged with rape because they can't prove that they didn't have consensual sex. Are you kidding me? Really? How about use a little bit of knowledge?
Right.
Just some logic. So he gets life with no parole plus life plus 20 years, and they're consecutive. But so he's never getting out. Like, there's no way in God's green earth that he's going to ever get out.
Well, that's good news.
So, Stephanie, Miss Food Catering wife, and Josh, the crime scene cleanup brother, they both get reach some plea deals as well on their own. They get 5 years of probation and a $1,000 fine.
Oh, God.
So, Allison had been in the country for 4 years when she got murdered, which I think is just so sad. So her uncle actually came up from Miami to give the impact statement in court, and he addressed Toby directly, and this is what he said. People say there is a jungle out there, and it is because of animals like you. And her parents were so devastated, they never came. They were in Colombia still, and they never came.
I'd be scared to come to America, too.
Yeah. And then Allison's fiance, Josh, never attended any of the court hearings. He was so messed up, God. And he has never mentally recovered from her disappearance and murder. She was the love of his life.
That is so sad.
And he just felt so responsible for her. And I mean, it's just sad. So he didn't even go to any of the court, but his mom did go and gave an impact statement of her own on Josh's behalf.
Good.
So, but yeah, this Toby Deering and we are not friends. I do not like him. He has an issue with women, and I for sure would really, really, really like to go and have a conversation with him because I have things that I have names to call him.
Yeah.
I really have, I have a list of names.
Yeah. I think you'd feel better if you could just get it off your chest.
I do too, because this really got me.
And
this
Atlanta
one
is not that far away.
No, not at all. No, I'm willing to go right now. Like, if we could just go, I could go.
We have a commitment to an improv.
Oh yeah, that's true. So I found his prison, where he is in prison, and his prison number.
Oh, great.
Oh yeah. Oh, I researched. I looked at his picture. I said ugly things to the picture. Yeah. I'm telling you, I'm going to talk to Toby Deering, and he is going to be crying when I'm done with him.
Good.
He's going to be curled up in a ball crying for his mama.
I'll be sitting right beside you, cheering you on.
And his parents actually got on the freaking stand and said, please give him leniency because he's a good boy.
Is he? Is he a good boy?
You should go to jail too. If you think he's a good boy, you raise that piece of trash. Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry. I understand they're trying to save their kid's life, but at some point you got to say, listen, I love you and I will always bring you fruit on visitor day, but they're going to need to put you away for a long time.
What you've done is bad and you have to pay for it.
Yeah, you have to pay for it. It's just how it is. So that's my murder. Atlanta Motor Speedway, suite number 34. Don't go rent that one.
Yeah, maybe stay away.
And when you go to the bathroom, gals, take your phone and take a buddy. There's safety in numbers because right. I don't think he would have thought she was, quote unquote, a prostitute if she were with a friend.
Exactly.
So,
dog it, that makes me mad.
Yeah. To malign her character like that, that's not who she was. He doesn't know her.
No.
Ugh. And just completely duped her.
Well, if you're going to confess to it, why not just be honest?
I agree. And stop making yourself try to look better. You're not going to look better. You killed a person.
Right.
Ooh, Lord.
Well, here, I'm going to give you a little
treat to help me get over it.
Yeah. I even made the marks with my fork.
I see that.
So it would look a little bit like the ones you get at the store.
Tastes okay. Oh, no. We're not taking food tonight. I was going to say we could take this to class, but we're not going to class. We're going to
right.
show.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Let's see.
All right. We're going to taste it now, y'all.
Mm.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. It's so warm.
It's so warm and it's so good.
Okay, guys. One thing I will tell you with this recipe, if you get the recipe, I really wish they had told me to sift the flour.
Mm.
Because they tell you to barely mix the batter.
Right.
And so I barely mixed
lumpies.
it.
Yeah.
So I got some flour lumpies that came up to the top.
Right. But it's delicious.
Guys, this is so, Lord have mercy. It jumped right off my fork like a frog.
We'll take a picture of it.
Yes, we will.
Listen, if you have a murder you want us to do some research on for you, send us an email.
Yeah.
murder.sugarcoated@gmail.com. And we are having a great time getting emails from people.
Mm-hmm.
We actually got a message from one of our fans on our Facebook page today. And she was talking, she told us that she loves our podcast and that she and her husband listen together.
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't see that.
Yeah. So her name is Betsy.
Betsy.
Wait.
Oh, no. Don't lie.
Or is it Becky?
Oh,
dang it.
Dear. Come on now, sugar.
No, it's Betsy. I got it. It's Betsy.
That's nice.
So, yeah, Betsy, thank you for reaching out. She was asking about our merchandise, if we had T-shirts.
Oh,
so
yeah, we do.
Sent her our link tree.
That's
got
wonderful.
The information on it.
And guys, Lean Cuisine sent us more coffees.
Oh, my God.
Bought us more coffee and said it was for the mystery continues. We don't know who Lean Cuisine is, but whoever they are, thank you so much because they sent it for our vanilla initiative.
Oh, yeah. And we started that initiative.
Yeah.
So just
I'm
keep
sorry.
on.
I can't stop eating this.
Yeah. It takes, let's see, 6 months.
Yeah.
So we've got a few more months to go before our vanilla initiative will present
our first
itself.
batch. Yeah. Yes. And then if we like it, we're definitely going to try to
sell it.
Let's sell it. Yeah, we're going to make it available.
Yeah. Hopefully we can get it to a better price than what you can get in the store.
Yes, or at least the same price, but it's homemade.
Exactly.
By your sugar-coated murder girls.
That's right. You can support us that way. So, yes, that's what we have.
We have Instagram.
Oh, my God, we do have Instagram.
So, we have a fan page on Facebook. You could find us on that. Our biggest following is on Instagram. And we are at Sugar-Coated Murder on Instagram. And please follow us there. We're on a couple other ones, but Instagram really is the main one at this point.
Right. That's where we get our biggest following.
Yeah, and that's where we get our biggest interaction. That and our email, which we love.
Oh, God, I love getting an email from fans.
Nothing makes my day more.
They really like us.
I know.
Enough to send us an email.
And they know our names. Like, what?
Like Jamie L. from North Carolina.
I know. Love her.
Love.
We've had a full-on several conversations with Jamie.
Yeah. Best friends.
We are. Oh, I mean, I think she's coming to Thanksgiving.
I can't wait.
Jamie, you're invited for Thanksgiving.
Woo!
And now Lauren is too.
You and Lauren. And I mean, if Betsy wants to come, she can come.
I mean, it's going to be like a sugar-coated murder Thanksgiving.
How fun would that be?
Oh, you just don't know. Well, we already invited Lyndon from the UK.
Yeah, that's right. From our slang in the kitchen.
That's right. And we've got another one.
We've got another one coming up. We're going to record on Monday. Exciting. It's very exciting. Something that we've, a subject that we've not talked about before.
No, we have not. And I hope y'all enjoy it. So guys, stay sweet.
And don't murder.
I'm serious. Like, don't do it.
Don't. If you kill people, we will talk about you.
And please, don't murder and don't get murdered.
Don't do it.
Be smart out there, guys. Be smart.
Yeah, you know why? Because we love you.
And we need you. We need friends. We don't want our friends to drop off.
No, we don't want to talk about you here. We don't.
No.
We want to say nice things.
Nice.
We don't want to have to visit.
All right, guys, y'all need this recipe. This butterscotch recipe is freaking delightful.
It is indeed.
All right, guys.
Have a good week. Love y'all.
Love you. Bye now.